Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we will look at Jujutsu Kaisen facts that you probably didn't know. The true reason why Gojo wears a blindfold is because of his 6 eyes ability. If Gojo's eyes are uncovered for too long, he will experience great fatigue. Since his popular power requires him to use curse energy, he will unnecessarily use all his energy when not wearing a blindfold. On to another fact about Gojo. According to Akutami, Gojo is well aware of how attractive he seems to women. However, he doesn't have a girlfriend because the author doesn't believe he can stay faithful to just one woman. On contrast with Nanami, who wants to have a stable relationship and get married, but not while he's still working as a jujutsu sorcerer. Also, when we see Gojo with sunglasses instead of the blindfold, most of the time it's because he's going on a date.
Sunglasses or blindfold? That'll be most of the days during the summer.
That will at least give him a more obvious excuse. Now talking about popularity, surprisingly, within the Jujutsukaisen universe, the most popular with women is Geto, and the most popular with men is miwa. In contrary, it is said that Nobara was never popular with the boys in her town. And before joining Jujutsu High, she used to practice sorcery with her grandmother, from whom she learned her course technique. Nobara's reddish-brown hair is indeed dyed, and her natural color is actually dark brown. Jujutsu Kaisen author Gege Akutami uses a one-eyed cat as an online persona. There is also a one-eyed cat in the JJK opening, which fans believe represents the author himself.
I would also put myself in the opening if I had my own anime.
I have no doubt about that. Now on to the next one. Why JJK sorcerers cover their eyes? Courses have increased consciousness and can sense when someone is watching them, especially a sorcerer. Once a course notices they are being observed, their level of aggression quickly escalates. And that's why sorcerers must hide their eyes to discover curses fast and quietly. Sukuna's fingers allegedly taste like soap.
What?
JJK author is slightly colorblind, hence Yuji's hair color slightly differs on different covers, from light brown to pink. In the fantasy that Nanami has before dying, he finds himself in Malaysia without his glasses because he doesn't need to fight anymore, and he no longer has his tie, symbolizing his retirement. According to the author, this drawing represents the difficulty he has in drawing each of these characters. There are only 4 special grade sorcerers: Yuki, Yuta, Geto, and Gojo. According to the author, it's very easy to compare Gojo with Kakashi. However, the mangaka of JJK, Gege Akutami, confirmed that Gojo has nothing to do with Kakashi, and that in fact, when creating the design of this character, he was inspired by Tombo Tobitake from Naruto, a supervisor who briefly appeared during the Chunin exams. Talking about Gojo, nothing is known about the Gojo clan. Things whether Gojo parents or grandparents are alive or not is an absolute mystery. Although Megumi is a serious guy and can seem a bit cold, it was revealed that he cries every time one of his shikigamis dies. Mei's first love is believed to be Megumi or a stranger. When Itadori is under Gojo's training, he watches The Descent, Leon the Professional, The Host, Deep Blue Sea, The Emperor's army marches on, and actually Sukuna also watched them, as he sometimes gets bored and starts sharing vision with his host. We even see him eating popcorn and drinking soda in his fight with Mahogara, simply out of curiosity after seeing how Yuji enjoyed them so much.
Well, there's a time and a place, isn't there?
Yes, maybe not the best timing. Inumaki speaks very little due to his coarse speech, and although it might seem like pure incoherences, actually what he says does make some sense. Salmon is used for affirmation, fish flakes is used for negation, kelp is used as a greeting, mustard leaf is used to show concern or worry, caviar is used as a curse word, tuna is used to call attention to something. Look, but yeah, most of it is gibberish. On a scale from 1 to 10, Itadori has a skill of 10 out of 10, a technique of 7 out of 10, and an intelligence of 4 out of 10. Megumi has a skill of 8 out of 10, a technique of 9 out of 10, and an intelligence of 10 out of 10, while Nobara has a skill of 5 out of 10, a technique of 7 out of 10, and an intelligence of 6 out of 10. Gojo doesn't know that Utahime doesn't like him. He thinks her attitude towards him is just a joke or a part of her personality.
Haha, it's hard to take a hint when you're blindfolded.
That could be the case. The reason why Geto calls non-sorcerers monkeys was after being defeated by Toji. On that occasion, Toji told him that he was defeated by a monkey like him, who couldn't even use curse energy. If Itadori hadn't become a sorcerer, he would probably be working as a firefighter. Gojo could have prevented Kengaku from keeping Geto's body if he had incinerated him right after he died, which we know Gojo was unable to do. Uraume has been collaborating with Sukuna for over 1,000 years, and she is one of the few that is allowed to be by his side. In Season 1, we see Megumi having a fantastic time while fighting the finger-bearer curse. And this is actually the first time in Megumi's entire life that he has laughed out loud.
I don't like it. That's way too serious.
Some people just don't laugh that easily, I guess. At the end of JJK 0, the sound is cut off when Gojo whispers something to Geto. Before killing him off, he said, "You were my best friend, my one and only." After Megumi's parents disappeared, when the bills started to pile up, it was Gojo who stepped in and settled the debts before the small amount left to the two kids ran out. In an extra featured by Shonen Jump, we see the trio dressed as Luffy, Nami, and Chopper, arguing who is gonna be captain. Mahito was in the cinema because he was trying to understand humans through movies and books. Also, Mahito really liked Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb, which is why he made Junpei like that. If Gege had stuck to his original idea, Nanami was gonna be a villain who worked for a shady company that one day loses his mind and tries to kill everyone.
Now that is something I would have liked to see.
Why that doesn't surprise me?
Is that a trick question?
Well, let's continue. Toji, born with absolutely no curse energy, unable to exorcise curses or become a sorcerer, the treatment he received from his family was terrible since he was a child. He was harassed by the members of the Zenin clan who did things like throwing him into a whole group of curses alone. And that was when he earned that scar that he has on his mouth. It is also said that when Toji was with Megumi's mother, he started to overcome his resentment towards the Zenins, became docile, and got on the right path. However, shortly after Megumi was born, she died. And that's how Toji reverted to his old self. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more content like this.
See you all in the next one. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Bye bye everybody.